Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Headless CMS show, episode number 7. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless creator. And in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about Stackbit and what is Stackbit. We'll get into that in just a minute. Watch previous episodes of the Headless CMS show. You can watch them all on headlesscreator.com. And if you have any questions, always feel free to email me, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. And you can see, there you go, right there. You can see my email right there. And then, of course, make sure that you um, reach out to me via any of the channels that you see there on Twitch. Make sure you follow me so that way you get notified when I'm live. On YouTube, make sure you follow me there because that's where I post all the on demand. And of course, check out my site, headlesscreator.com. I'm going to show you real quick right there because you can see all of the shows up here. And for the content modeling show, which I do Mondays and Tuesdays, every Monday and Tuesday, you get to not only watch me model live, but then you have the content model, which you can actually check out after the show. So make sure you do all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Okay, great. So for today's show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover for you a little bit about Stackbit and what is Stackbit. Um, we all know headless CMSs, and headless CMSs are really great. They consist of a content model or the ability to create content models, right, to meet your organization, the ability to store the content, an API to access all that content, an admin piece for authors to manage that content, and some workflow engine, right, to be able to put some content governance around that content. So that's what a headless CMS offers normally, right, which is fantastic. That's really the future because it separates that front end from that back end. Now, with the problem with a headless CMS, if you can call it a problem, is that front end, you always have to code. You always have to create. So if you want to do a website, you have to create it from scratch, basically, right? Now, you can use Jamstack. You can use a variety of platforms and frameworks, but you still have to do the coding. And then use the API of the headless CMS to access all the content to populate it. So that's both good and bad. Bad in the sense that if you are a small shop and you just want to create something quickly, sometimes a headless CMS may be too much work for what you do. But this is where Stackbit comes in because uh, this is what I feel is sort of the missing head of headless. But still, with that clear separation of the headless CMS and the content and the structure of that content from the front end and the delivery of that content. So I just set the tone basically, so you guys know what Stackbit is. Let me show you. I'm gonna jump in here. I am gonna cover how to create a project, what that project creates behind the scene. We're gonna go into the editor of Stackbit, so you can see how you can edit content. I'm going to be updating some content, and then I'm actually going to be updating some code as well, and then I'll show you how to delete the site. So let me put this right here, my notes, so that way we can do this properly. And here we are in Stackbit Dashboard. So once you log in Stackbit, you'll have to log in, and you can create an account. It's free. You can create an account using your Google account, I believe, or your GitHub account, and that's what I did. I created my GitHub account. So once you create it, it's going to ask you to create a new project because you're not going to have any project. You're going to be at the dashboard. And you can create a new project by clicking on the new project link up here. Also, if you already have a Jamstack site, and I'm not sure what the specs are for it to conform to this. I've been in communication with Stackbit to learn a little bit more about it, but I don't have all the details. That's the other thing I want to tell you. I want to give full disclosure. They're not sponsoring me. I just found out about it, and I thought they were really cool, so I thought the community should know about it. Number 2, they're in beta, so things may not work. And then number 3, because this is a demo, things most likely will break. So keep that in mind. But you can import a project. If you don't have a project to import, you can click on new project. And the cool part here, and this is where that head I was telling you about comes in, because here's where you have templates that you can pick. And they're providing you with a bunch of templates. The custom theme is basically the same as clicking import. When you do that, it'll ask you to load the theme directly. But let's go back to Stackbit, create new project. And you get to select from the themes that they already created for you. Now, I'm assuming that in the future, they're going to add more themes. Maybe there's going to be a marketplace for themes. I'm not sure, but that may be the case. But for now, I'm just going to show you. Now, what you do is when you select a theme, doesn't matter which theme, I'm just going to select starter theme. I'm going to click on continue. Here's where you get to basically decide what your infrastructure is going to be. So for example, here we can put the name of the site. So we can say my test site.